Hey guys, welcome back. In this video we're going to upgrade the brake master cylinder from a 22mm to 24mm. Okay, so we're going to open up the box and see what we got. We got a 24mm brake master cylinder. I think it's from a T4 and looks lovely. So the reason why I'm upgrading it is the previous one, which was this one here, was 22mm. So 22mm is, I think it's measured across the inside, not this piece here, but if you were able to open it up, it would be across the piston. And I think it does say 22 on the side. I think it says it there, is it? Not there. 22 is cast into it, so this is hopefully a 24. They sent me the right part. And yep, basically they both look the same. That one around. So you have 3 holes in this one, if it stays still. Right, 3 in that one. There's 4 in this one, 4 ports. 2 in the top, and the rubbers are here. The problem I was having was these rubbers here, they just started to fail. The reservoir just wouldn't stay in and just kept popping out. And I got new rubbers, put them back in, and I think they were old rubbers and they just cracked and they just wouldn't stay in. So I looked up on the internet and these rubbers here are really expensive. So rather than buying new ones, it was nearly cheaper to buy a whole new unit, so that's what I did. They're not really serviceable. Once the rubbers get old and they start getting hard, and if the ports start getting blocked, it's not really worth fixing them, especially if they're brakes. They're so important. Better off to go with something new. And open it out. It's a bit hard to do with one hand. There you go. So what am I going to do with the 4 ports? Because the old system had 3 ports. So probably end up either using just 3 of them, or else bringing the extra line that should be teed down there all the way back up here and putting each port to each separate wheel. But looks lovely. No markings on the size, but it fits anyway, and they're the same. Okay, let's install this. So just before we install it, 2 things to note. Don't forget to take off the cover. So now both pistons are the same, both of them are the same. And the most important thing, if you ever buy one of these, if you find one on the shelf or whatever and you got to use it, be sure that the O-ring here is still here, because that's the seal. So when you make vacuum in the brake servo, you have to make sure that it's making a seal, so that's very important. Perfect. Okay, so I'm making the rear brake line now. I've done the opposite end, so this is the end that's going into the master cylinder. So about to line it all up. That's it there. Spin it around and we'll squeeze it down. Before we squeeze it down, don't forget to put on your ferrule. Okay, this has to go on first, or your nut, whatever it's called. And make sure it goes on the right way, don't put it on backwards. Okay, so we have our nut on, ready to go. It's all in the clamp, all nice and tight. We've selected our right ferrule that we're going to put on, or whatever they're called. Using the cam lever now. Get a pull. And yeah, it looks pretty good. Let's take it out and see how it looks. Brilliant, every time. Okay, so, and that's the brake bias cylinder over the rear axle. So that's that now done. So I have all 4 lines all replaced. Top 2 are going left and right to the rear axle. These 2 are going all the way up to the master cylinder. Let's have a look at that. Okay, So that's now the 4 brake lines all wired up, or plumbed up I should say. So we're going to say this is the front of the master cylinder, this is the back. So there's 2 pistons, or 1 piston that moves, but there's 2 pistons inside it, or 1 barrel, whichever way you want to call it. Alright, so the front's here, and this is the back. So on the back piston, this one here is the front driver side. This one here is the back passenger side, so that's way off that way. On the front piston here, this one here is the caliper over this side, and this one here is the far back side over here. So you notice that the front and the back is on 2 different lines, and they're crossed as well. So although that these 2 sides here are the fronts and these 2 here are the rears, the piston that drives these, there's a front left, rear right, rear left, rear left, rear front, whichever way it is. But anyway, it's crossed anyway. So the idea that if the piston at the front fails or the piston at the back fails, you'll still have braking, and you'll still have opposite sides braking. So that's basically it. So next thing I suppose is to put the lid on, and yeah, I'll come back to you then. Alright guys, so I got it finally back on. So the trick was to get a bit of silicone spray. There's 2 little nipples from the tank. Put a bit of silicone spray on both of them so they're well lubricated. Push it down and just keep pushing it down. Get rid of the cap, put your whole fist or your palm onto the bottle and just keep pushing it down until eventually it all walks down and it's all nice and neat. So there you have it. That is absolutely brilliant. So now I have all the brake system done. So that's it now all finished. So if you enjoy watching these videos and you want to support me, you can now buy me a coffee virtually online. So follow the link in the description below. It's buy me a coffee, and that's how you can support the channel. So it's a $5 for the coffee, it's not too expensive, and yeah, it helps me to keep the build going. So as always, thanks very much for watching. Don't forget to rate, comment and subscribe. Support me on PayPal in the link below, and I'll see you next time.